Now, for more on China-Africa relations, joining me now is He Wenping. She is the director of the Africa program at the China Academy of Social Sciences. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Now, China has made great investment in Africa, and it's made it a priority, as we know, in the recent months. And we saw President Xi Jinping make his first overseas visit since becoming president to Africa and made a number of deals there. How does the United States compare in regards to its investment?
I think in terms of investment, United States still leads the way. And the amount of investment coming from the United States, I think, is far, far ahead of China's investment in Africa. But in terms of the trade, and China now, the trade with Africa, the volume, and now I think has surpassed the United States, even as earlier in 2009. So since 2009, China has been continuous serving as the first and the biggest trade partner with Africa. So they are different. And I think in terms of security cooperation between United States and Africa, and also like civil society contact and NGO contact, and as well as political influence, and also not mention those cultural cooperation. So I think the United States still take the lead. So China now still far lag behind in terms of those areas I mentioned before, those soft areas.
But it doesn't appear to be, because President Obama hasn't even visited Africa in years, and there's talk of him making a visit soon, but that has not even been announced. And here you have the Chinese president, making this big effort to show the investment. Do you think that the United States feels like it doesn't really have to do that, or do you think that it's starting to notice China and these other countries going to Africa, and it will continue to further its investment there too?
Yes, as you rightly put forward, President Obama himself, even though he's also been called son of Africa by a lot of Africans, but he himself hasn't paid a very extensive trip to Africa. His very early trip to Africa in Ghana just I think he spent only less than 24 hours in Ghana. So definitely in this coming second term, I think he probably will pay a visit to Africa. But I think now China, of course, we have exchanged very frequent high-level visits with African counterparts. So that's why in China, Africa is quite high in our diplomatic agenda. So for the decision makers. So that's why also one of the reasons the United States felt quite pressure, saying, I have heard quite a lot of lobby voice here saying the government of the United States should also hurry up to keep the space that the pace that the Chinese government has been taking. So that's why this time around I came to DC to join this trilateral cooperation dialogue, so between United States, China, and the African countries. Maybe that's one of the reasons why the states would like to see more of those dialogue.
Well, do you consider the United States and China competitors when it comes to trade and investment in China, or do you think there's a way that all three of them can mutually benefit from a trilateral relationship?
Yeah, I would like to see the things in a very positive way. Of course, there is some competition, if I use that word, among those business persons, like companies or corporations, because if they want to join to get some bid, of course, they are competing with each other. But I would like to see more complementary role played by all those stakeholders. For example, as I mentioned before, United States, they still have some, very powerful and strengths in terms of investment, high technology know-how, and also even when I mentioned the energy corporation, they take the lead in those high techs, especially in the deep sea exploration for those deep sea oil. So there are lots of advantages here coming from United States enterprises. But from Chinese perspective, I think Chinese companies also enjoy quite a lot of competitive advantages. For example, our labor cost is pretty low, and we have abundant experiences for development in the past decades, especially for those poverty reduction area, and how to develop like township enterprises. So and also how to engage the rural people now into the big city. So those experiences, I think those African countries, they badly need that. So in terms of all of those different parts and different domains, I think there is enough room for this trilateral cooperation moving forward.
All right, He Wenping, we appreciate your time and insight. Thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure. Thank you.